We're going to try and make it as quick as we can. There's a few things to talk about, but not too bad. So I'm just going to call the meeting to order. And it is 7 o'clock, right on the dot, November the 17th, Tuesday, 2020. What we'll do is we'll do a roll call and see who's here. So I'm here. We'll start with Dana Mackinson, Bruce Joy, Jessica, Councillor Jessica.
Yeah, I'm here.
Claire's on here as well. June Williams.
Here.
Mike Fowler and Courtney are listening.
Present.
Hi there.
I think that's everybody I see. So we'll just start here. Thanks for coming tonight. We'll just do the electronic participation protocol here. I'm just going to read it out to you. Please note that this meeting is video and audio recorded, and all of these meetings are uploaded to the municipality's YouTube page. So by registering to participate in the meeting by electronic means, you are consenting to have your likeness and comments recorded and posted on YouTube. If everybody's all okay with that, then we'll proceed.
Right.
Okay. I'm okay.
All right. So we'll just get started here. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest?
Nope.
Here.
Okay. Approval of the minutes. Has everybody seen and read the minutes from August 18th, 2020?
Mm-hmm.
I have.
Yeah.
I didn't receive the minutes in writing.
Okay. Would you like me to read them to you?
The minutes
How
were.
can we do this?
The minutes were attached to what Claire sent you.
Oh, crap.
Yes, they
Sorry.
should have been included
the
in
agenda.
the agenda. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Do you want me to go quickly now and read them? Or can we, because I wasn't there, I don't know, how do we proceed? Because I didn't read them. I'm very sorry.
Would you like me to? Would you like me to do a quick reading of them? I have them right here.
Well, you only have to read the actions if
If
there's any actions, Vinny.
Oh, okay. Were there any actions, Vinny?
I'm just taking a look here. We did.
Dinah, if you want some more time to read over them,
Yeah.
I think it's probably okay if you just abstain from voting, if that's all right with you.
Yes, I will abstain from voting then.
Okay, sure.
Okay. All right.
So I do have a resolution prepared, so I'll just read it out and then I'll get Vinny to have a mover and seconder and we'll take a quick vote. So just that the minutes from the August 18th, 2020 recreation meeting be approved.
So is there anybody who'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes?
Sure, I will.
I'll second it.
June Williams, seconded by Bruce Joy. Is everybody all okay with that?
Yes. Yep. In favor.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
I'll just note that moved by June, seconded by Bruce, in favor Jessica and Vinny, and then I'll just note that Dinah will be reviewing them at a later time.
Okay. Now, is there any business arising out of the minutes?
Maybe. I'm just not sure with the tennis. The tennis club, we were all going to prepare some comments, and that was going to be sent back to council. But I was just curious if those comments are going to come back first to our committee to kind of come up with a consensus to send one sort of complete report to council, or if the individual comments are just going to be sent to council?
I can
Would the-
answer that.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Claire.
I believe the individual comments were sent directly to the deputy clerk. I don't believe we're going to be bringing back the full comments to the next rec committee meeting.
Okay.
But I do have an update I can provide,
Okay.
just so everybody is kind of in the loop on where we are with the tennis club.
Okay.
Council wish to continue with the current use of the tennis courts for the remainder of the 2020 season. However, given the late opening due to COVID, the tennis club was not able to hold its annual registration. So in an effort to see the courts utilized for the remainder of this year, the courts were open for general public access, with the township providing nets. And then further talks with the tennis club will commence in 2021 in order to bring forward a facility use agreement.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for that.
Has anyone heard any feedback, negative or positive, regarding the open concept?
Well,
Me personally,
sorry.
go ahead, June.
Well, pickleball group, we've been using it twice a week since middle of September, and which was great. We did come to the conclusion, however, that it's much better in the gym, because we did have a lot of running to do on little windier days. But I just wanted to add, and I know I did send in my comments after the last meeting about the tennis courts. They really are in rough shape. And, you know, I know it's in the budget, like way down the road, but there's no way that they're going to last that long or even be pleasant to use. It's kind of a shame, because I know when the tennis club is playing there, like they're well used, but along with, you know, our playgrounds and things, they're tired. And we either need to get a bigger tax base or take some money from roads or fire engines or whatever and start, you know, rebuilding some of our park facilities. Because it is, I mean, we appreciate using the tennis courts, and we played right up until last week, and hopefully next week we'll play. But they really are in rough shape.
Maybe Mike Fowler could comment on the condition, or if we had any vandalism over the summer. I thought it looked like one of the nets was maybe down, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, no, the nets are great. And it's the deep cracks and the upheaval of the pavement. And then the third court, which we used because we had enough people that we had the 3 courts going most of the time, and we put one of our nets up, but we're not using the whole court for pickleball, and because it does slope to the back, right? And which we knew. But it's all these great big cracks that are in there, and the pavement that's come up where the nets are attached, and constantly we were sweeping it, but more asphalt kept coming up through the cracks. So I don't know if there's a patch or something temporary that can be done to fix it, but it's looking a little tired.
Yeah, I probably would agree with you. They are, you know, sneaking up there, and I think it was slated for repavement in 5 or 6 years, but I think you're right. It's going to have to get done sooner. So obviously Mike Fowler or someone from the township would have to deem them unsafe if they are in too rough a shape to use. I think it might be. Yeah, it might be the footprint rocks pushing up through the ground. I don't know. So, but I don't know when we see our budgets, if there's going to be much money available in the next year, 2021, to do any repairs on stuff like that. We haven't had a lot of revenue, so so I don't know. But thanks for that concern. Is there anything else to discuss before we move on?
Hey, Vinny, it's Mike. Do you want me to speak to the condition of the tennis courts?
Sure. Let me know how you feel they look or how they are.
Well, I will agree that they are tired. They are over, I think it's over 15 years since it was last treated. I will say in the township's defense that this is the first year that we've actually had access to even inspect the courts. Years previous, they've always been locked up with the tennis club, so it was kind of hard to have any type of inspection or any type of maintenance program. So moving forward, if the township continues to have access to it, then absolutely this is something that can be considered as far as possibly moving improvements ahead in upcoming years.
Okay.
Is that something, sorry, maybe June, is that something you'd like to make a motion to have council consider?
Well, I think they definitely need to be looked at, like sooner than say 5 years, because you're not going to get anybody playing on them. And I know, I don't listen to people whining, but we had some players come and join the pickleball and that played tennis in town. And they couldn't believe that people would actually play on those courts. And, and I said, well, they're slated for either to be moved or repaired, in the next few years. We just have to be patient. But, it's, they're not really pleasant to play on. But as I say, we appreciated being out there because we couldn't get in the gym. And but there were a lot of comments from people that they were really in rough shape. I just think it's really kind of unfortunate because we have these nice facilities, but they need to be maintained, and that certainly in the last few years hasn't been maintained.
Yeah, well, I think in the tennis club's defense, I think their enrollment has been down quite a bit the last few years, and maybe they just don't have the revenue that they used to have to keep the maintenance up like they used to. So, no,
it shouldn't be all on their shoulders, right? It should be a joint adventure, either grants, maybe a little bit from the township, some from the tennis club, but we need to keep these things up.
Yeah, well, maybe the township can look into some quotes from maybe some of our, capital paving, some of our resident companies to quote doing the job, and maybe it might be a project that one of the local companies might take in, and donate some of their materials possibly,
Well, too, if they're going to have 3 courts there, I would think that because based on the third court being on a slope because of the wetlands there, when they were built, that's the only place they had to build, and it was all built up, but obviously it wasn't enough. And so maybe they need to be moved before we start repaving.
Yeah.
Just an observation.
I'd like to add my 2 cents to the topic. We got to remember that the township considered it private tennis courts up until this year. So they were responsible for maintaining those tennis courts. They do have $30,000 available that they said that they had in their bank account. So I'm not sure why they didn't spend it on upkeep. Now, moving forward, if the township wants to make this a public access, then they would have to share in the upkeep. But until this year, as Mike said, they never had access.
Mhm.
So it all depends on what the township is going to do next year with regards to the tennis courts. That's my personal opinion.
Thanks, Bruce. Is there any more comments on the topic?
Not for me.
But he does want to put a motion forward. We could take a vote on it. I mentioned, I don't think that it's been determined yet. I believe in 2021, the township and the tennis club are going to look into bringing forward a facility use agreement. I don't believe the details of that have been determined yet.
Yes. I don't think we
Perhaps
can
part
make,
of the motion. Sorry, Bruce.
yeah, I don't think we can put a motion forward until that gets resolved, to be honest.
I think if anything, you could put a motion forward as part of consideration as to the 2021 and onward use of the tennis club to also consider the maintenance and or repaving or relocation of the tennis club as part of that discussion. So I don't think we can necessarily ask for that to be done without knowing what the arrangement is going to be with the tennis club, but I think it could be put into a motion that council consider that in tandem with what they're going to do with the tennis club.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Claire,
yeah,
does
that
that
makes
make
sense.
sense what I'm saying?
Yes, it does.
It does.
Mike, I guess this question will be for you. Has there been consideration of moving those courts?
Up to date, no. The courts were not even identified in the Parks Master Plan as far as being moved. This would have to be another consideration, both through the township and council, if they would like to explore including the tennis courts into the Parks Master Plan. Currently, we're just in the first stage with the back soccer field. So in my opinion, there is some room to consider it being placed, but until decisions have been made from other parties, I can't verify that.
Okay.
Okay. So are we going to put a motion forward at all, or are we going to let this lie until 2021?
I say we can put a motion forward as was mentioned, that as part of the plan moving forward, that should be something that would be considered.
So Bruce would like to make the motion?
Sure, I can motion that.
Okay, and how would you like to word it?
I can read something out. You guys can let me know if it fits what you're after. As part of the considerations for a facility use agreement, the rec committee would, the rec committee would like council to consider the maintenance and possible relocation of the tennis courts.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, consideration of it.
Or reconstruction, maybe?
Do we want to
Refurbishing?
Do we want to add possibly shared maintenance? Doesn't that imply that the township would be 100%? If we don't say shared, they'd be 100% responsible for maintenance?
I think that's part of that cost sharing agreement that's already on the table. Is that right, Claire?
I believe so. I don't think it hurts to add the word shared in there.
Yeah, add the
Just
word
for
shared.
ourselves.
Yeah, so, okay, as part of the facility use agreement, the rec committee would like council to consider the shared maintenance and possible, did we like relocation or reconstruction? Or both maybe? relocation / reconstruction of the tennis courts.
Mhm.
Okay,
So I'll just, I can.
Sounds good.
So I'll just have somebody move and second, and then we'll take an all-around vote. So
is there somebody who'd like to move that?
I'll do that
Bruce?
since I
I'll
made the
second
proposal.
it.
okay, perfect.
June Williams, seconder. And is there anybody that's opposed? None? Everybody's all in favor?
In favor.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Okay, is there any more business arising out of the minutes?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. We'll move on to item 7, consent agenda, revenue and expense information for the third quarter 2020. Has anybody looked at that?
Yeah,
I have.
I have a couple of questions just out of interest.
Yes.
So for the PCC, the outdoor maintenance for this last quarter was $5,589, but the overall budget year to date is only $1,200. So I was just kind of curious as to what we had done.
I can answer that, June. Emergency generator, which we have at the PCC, which is required under the emergency management system the township is involved with. The computer board that actually runs the generator was, we'll say, eaten by mice. So
Oh dear.
unfortunately, this was a $1,000 cost that had to be repaired immediately. And it has been repaired, and I've also supplied numerous mice traps.
Oh, so nothing exciting. I thought there was going to be something exciting. Okay, so the other one was the waste removal. So the budget for the whole year is $6,240, but this is for the PCC, but we're at $4,679 already, but there's nobody in there. So I'm just wondering why we have so much cost in waste removal. Like, can we get them not to come as often, or just to cut that down a bit? Because doesn't seem quite right. If there's no one using the building, how come we've got that much garbage?
Well, that location, June, even though it's identified as the PCC, the ORC uses that as their garbage disposal, and also the Parks Department, when cleaning out garbage cans, uses those bins as disposal.
Okay. Okay, and there has been a lot of people using the park grounds, so it just seemed like a lot for not having the facilities officially open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I know on some of that stuff too, we have our garbage on a contract. I mean, you can reduce it a little bit, but they kind of still want to come whether you use it or not, just to keep the contract. So,
right.
It could be a bit of a contract basis as well, where they could probably reduce the loads that they take, from however many times a month they come, but they don't want to eliminate it. So I'm not sure how much it's been full or used. I haven't looked in the bins in a while, but like Mike said, a lot of people, they use those bins for a lot of other items other than just that building. So I could see them possibly getting stuff in them, probably not as much as we would be used to. But yes, absolutely. That's definitely a high amount of money, it looks like, when you have it on paper, and here in the third quarter, you're wondering where all that garbage come from. So, yeah. Is there any other questions?
Not for me.
Oops, sorry, Eddie.
I do have a resolution prepared for this one as well, so I'll just give that a read out. That the revenue and expense information for Q3 2020 be received for information.
Is everybody in agreement that everything is okay?
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
fine.
Yes.
Would you like me to make a vote or anything on that at all, or?
If you don't mind, I'll just get a quick mover and seconder, and then I can note that it was all in favor.
I'll
Okay.
I'll
move
move.
or
I'll
second.
second.
Okay, I'll have
Okay,
Bruce and
Whoever.
Dinah. Thank you.
okay, perfect. Everybody's all in favor?
Yes.
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 Okay. Let me just get back to my screen here. Okay, correspondence. The annual Recreation Committee report. Item number 1 there. Has anybody read that?
Yes. Mhm.
Yep.
Is there any questions?
I didn't have any.
No,
So
no, I
there's,
Oh, here it
there's
is.
4
Okay.
items on that report.
Right. Nope, no questions.
And it looks like we're only going to be going forward with items 3 only for financial implications. So we're going to be provided for item 3 only in that report, and items 1, 2, and 4 are going to be put on hold until funds are released in 2021, hopefully, due to COVID-19.
correct.
Is there any questions on this report before it goes tomorrow to be read at council?
No questions?
No questions?
No,
June?
no, no.
Okay. Well, I guess what we'll do is we'll look for a mover and a seconder to approve it.
The motion is actually just to receive for information, so that the annual Recreation Committee report for 2020 be received for information.
Okay, and is that okay for everybody? Bruce?
That's fine. I'll move that.
Yeah.
I can second
Dana?
it.
June Williams,
I'm
second
good.
it?
You?
Everybody's
June's
in
the
favor?
seconder.
Yes.
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 Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to item 9, committee reports. Item number 1, sub-item number 1 is Google reviews and responses for township facilities. Dana?
All right.
Dana?
Yes, that's me. Oh, Vinny, you can call me Dinah.
Yes.
Like dynamite? Okay. I
Dynamite.
know. It's so confusing, my name. I just thought I'd let you know that. All my friends call me Dinah, so there you go. Yeah, for the Google reviews, we, I can't remember because it was so long ago. I think it was a meeting in January or February where I had brought up, could we possibly when, either when we send out an invoice or send something to people who book the facilities, send them a post-event, send them a survey, a quick survey, and ask them to submit any comments. This can be done, we can ask them to do Google reviews and give them the link and include it in the document. Or you can also do, I guess we don't want to do, I'm assuming we don't want to introduce something new like Survey Monkey, which is a free software program for doing surveys. But I don't think it went to any questions in terms of, we didn't really discuss it at the time. So I'm just wondering how everyone feels about us doing that so that we, number one, can get higher hits on Google. If we have Google reviews and a lot of people going there to look, that just moves us up in the googly world, and all the little minions in the back up to, I mean, the goal is because people habitually do not go to a second page when they're searching for facilities or anything really on the internet. So that's one benefit of it. And the second benefit is to get feedback from people, although maybe we get feedback anyways, but this is asking for feedback, and people feel welcome when they're given that opportunity, because not everyone's going to speak up, whether it's positive or negative. So getting feedback that helps council and the township do their job better, and for us to have more information about concerns and positive things as well can help us. And I just wanted to put it out there and find out, how does everyone feel about if we, number one, Claire, can we do that? How would we go about doing that? And how does everyone feel about getting that kind of that feedback? I mean, we could get bad responses too. I mean, there's always that as well, but there's, but hopefully that's few and far between. So how does everyone feel about asking people and sending out something post-event for their thoughts and a star rating?
Well, I'll start off. I feel that Google reviews is huge. I just looked it up on the computer here, and the Postman Community Center has a 4.5 star rating, and 125 people have wrote a review for the community center in Postman. So,
isn't that nice? That's
yeah.
good.
So having a business, I get customers that call me and they say, you know what? I really like that I went on your Google and I seen that you've responded to some of your negative reviews. I think the township, if they are able to, they should maybe, because it looks like nobody's really claimed it, the township should claim all these community center and what have you, and it would be a little project for whoever's in doing the work in the township to respond to some of these reviews. And if we do have a lot of negative ones, then we could bring it to the rec committee and say, hey, we've got 5 or 6 people in the last few months that just have had a terrible experience, and then we could maybe look at ways of changing it, or responding to these people and saying, we really appreciate it, and, thanks, and, see how we can improve everything. So I really feel that Google reviews, and if anybody ever calls our businesses, I ask them, how'd you hear about us? Well, I just Googled you and, your name came up. Well, the better rating we have, the better chance we're going to get at renting everything and, improving on it what we have. So that's my thought.
Maybe I can ask Jessica or Claire, does the township have anyone that is responsible for social media or the website that is in-house, or do you send it out for third party?
So for the website, as you all know, we recently launched a new site, but it's really handled kind of by everybody, whoever is looking to update the info, depending on which department it is.
Okay.
It's all done in-house for the most part. We had a consultant that helped us create that new site, but we do not have anybody in charge of social media. We don't actually have a big social media presence at all, really, outside of the website. One thing I can maybe mention, in the new year, I think there's going to be kind of some goal setting with our committees, just so that I know it sometimes feels like we kind of go from meeting to meeting and the same things are coming up. So that's partly why we're going to start doing those reports, like the one you saw in this agenda. And so maybe as part of that in the new year, I don't know exactly if something like this would go to council for approval first. I can find out though. And then would imagine that it will go to staff to see, is there the capacity? If so, what department and that sort of thing?
Yeah, that would be my opinion, is that the township looks at assigning this type of work to a certain department. And I'm not expecting it to be much. So.
Right.
But really, should this
I
not
may
be
be
part,
go ahead, June, sorry.
so should this not really be part of the person that's responsible for booking the facilities? Because it's a follow-up to the booking and the use, the rental of the facility. So it's just an automatic give information, book it, people use it, and then it's a follow-up after to see how we did and if there was any concerns or any good things that came out of it. And it would just be just a complete circle in my mind anyway.
I agree with that.
It may not even
Yeah,
have to be a, go ahead.
I'm just thinking, so I'm almost thinking that they're kind of like two different things. So a survey, so sending out a survey post rental of a facility is perhaps different, or is achieving something different than a Google review. I'm not positive on this, and I don't know if maybe Claire, you might know this, but I believe that the Google review and responding to Google reviews, things like that, would probably fall under the umbrella of social media. It would be similar to responding and posting things on Facebook, all that stuff. I don't believe that the township has a social media policy in place, and I believe that before we can do any of that, we would first need to have that policy in place. I know that council spoke about doing that. I know early on, at least in my term of council, and at that time, we just did not have the staff resources. Quite some time has passed since then, so maybe maybe it's time to revisit that. I think either way, the PCC isn't really being rented right now anyways, so I don't know if it's something that needs to be happening right away, but I kind of think that they're two separate things. And probably if we just wanted to get some survey information, that's something I could possibly see being implemented faster than kind of like a whole social media platform, if that makes sense. I'm not sure.
Can I speak? So Councillor Goyda, just a first question further to that. Is there not a plan in future budgets for a social media person? Or has that just never been formalized?
I believe it's part of, I might need some help here from either Claire or Courtney, but I believe it's part of the rebranding. When Obs and Mugs did this whole rebranding, the logo, some of the signage, I believe that was part of their recommendations at that time. And I think that we have, since that's been done, we've been gradually implementing those recommendations sort of in piece by piece. And I do believe that's in there. I could not tell you for sure what year or when that's slated to be looked at, but I do know that it's in there somewhere. I don't know if either Claire or Courtney has that information handy.
I don't know. Oh, sorry, Courtney.
No, sorry, Claire. So I think it was addressed through that study that Obs and Mugs did for us, where they kind of looked at our whole presence as a township and our brand and how we kind of put ourselves out there. We currently have a little bit of something similar coming forward that we're working on. I know that council approved the platform Bang the Table. So that's a similar platform that can engage the public that's moderated. So that's a big portion of this. How does social media get moderated? It's not really ideal to have a social media platform that's kind of left and not responded to. So Bang the Table is a really, really great resource that we're starting to use, and we'll have that coming forward in a few weeks here with some first projects that we're looking at. I can say from some experience.
Oh, good.
Yes. So we can certainly bring that forward and let you guys know what we're working on with that. But I will say in a previous municipality where I worked, a much bigger municipality, but they had a dedicated person just to respond to their social media, and they only had one platform. They only had Twitter, and it took this person's full kind of workday to respond to this. So it's a big commitment. It's a very big commitment. And I think it has to be looked at in terms of resources and where that fits in with our staff, our current staffing, for sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so
I think
it looks, sorry,
Yeah,
it looks
go
like
ahead.
Google review would be something that would be in conjunction with launching of social media, that having somebody, I mean, we obviously, people are giving their reviews, but we can't moderate it right now. So that would be something that could be looked at possibly when a whole social media platform is created, if we ever do. But it is a separate thing doing a survey, because the survey at the end of an event is private information that just goes back and forth between the client and the township. So, and that can be responded to by the booking agent or the recreation committee, or, you know, I don't know who would respond to that. That's the thing, because you would want to, I mean, surveys are definitely, people don't usually expect an answer from a survey, but there may be a question or a complaint that somebody might want to respond to. So I don't know who would do that, but I just think it's a good idea for us to start getting feedback that we can use to forward ourselves, you know, online, and also have more information from the people who use the facilities. I mean, we use them, we go to them, we know people who go to them, but we're still getting sort of an insular type of feedback. But to get it from your clients is the most important feedback you can get. So the survey would be, Councillor Goyda, if you say that's something that can be implemented possibly sooner, then that maybe is where we look to at this time, and table, you know, having a moderator for Google reviews, as Courtney was saying, because that's a full-time job, and that's not going to happen until we have a social media person. So I'm thinking that the survey might be a good way to get started on interacting and engaging with our clients. That's it.
Thank you. Is there any more comments?
Yeah, Vinny,
Well,
I'm
is
just
there,
kind of I'm reading the Google reviews, and there's nothing really to respond to. So, like I said, you know, I don't know how much the township wants to invest in reviewing, but yeah, they're all really good.
Yeah, I looked through them as well, and they're all pretty generically pretty good, which is probably a good thing. But, you know, there are people out there, and they will write a bad one. So, yeah.
When you have a bad review, it needs to be responded to, whether we have a person or not. If there's a bad review, it should be responded to, because people who see those, you can sort through Google reviews and say, oh, I want to see the 1-star reviews, and I want to hear what those people had to say. And if there is a 1-star review, you definitely want to respond if you want people to look at you favorably, because they don't want to have the perception that we're just turning a blind eye and you don't care. If there's a bad review and there's a response to it, and can you please contact this person, please call us or DM us or however you do it. Have us contact so we can sort this out, or, you know, but people see that as favorable when a bad review is responded to. So that can actually negate the bad review because it shows that you care.
Sure.
That's true. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we don't have a social media person and we do start taking bookings, maybe a little follow-up phone call with like 4 simple questions that we ask might be something that might be worth doing after the event. You know, just 4 simple questions, and at the end you ask, you know, if you like this, would you consider leaving us a review on our Google, or, you know, or whatever way we want. Might be a cheaper way in the intern. You know, if the booking agent follows up a few days afterwards and says, you know, we're just, you know, something simple, you know,
Or
until we get the social media and all that stuff figured out. So
just an email. So you want to take the, I mean, a phone call can, I don't know about how much time the booking person has to, you know, follow up on, I mean, when we open up again, hopefully that's not too far in the future, but you know, you could have a lot of events in a week and that can create a lot of work. But I think by sending out an email, you know, a standard email, you just put the person's name in and have your standard signature and, you know, nothing personal to their event, just, you know, it's a copy and paste thing or whatever, and just send out an email and hopefully you get 20% of the people responding that you can respond to, just so that we get information. And don't worry about, you know, doing any of the moderating until, you know, we have somebody doing that, if we ever have somebody doing that on Google reviews. And
okay.
Twitter and Facebook. So can we do something about this, Councillor Goyda? Is there anything we can do about asking council if that can be put forward to the booking agent?
I'm not sure, Claire, is that something that would need to go through council, or is that something that staff can report back on, you know, whether they have the resources and what those might be? Or
I think that's a good question. I think for now, again, I think there'll be some more clarity once we kind of do these goal setting workshops with our committees on what the best way to move forward with items is. For now, I would say I can take it back to staff, and Courtney did mention bang the table. And so maybe that's something we can consider. It could be fairly simple, like we could link, you know, to a very simple project on Bang the Table where people answer a few questions through that platform. So there are some options. So if you don't mind leaving it with me, I can report back at our next meeting. By that time, we will have launched Bang the Table.
That would be great.
So maybe I can give you guys a demo of the platform and show you maybe what it might look like if we do link our renters there for a quick survey afterwards. But yeah, I'll reach out to staff too.
I'd love to see that.
Inquire again about capacity and workload and that sort of thing.
Okay, is there anything else before we move on?
Nope.
Okay, we'll move on to protective screening for the Postman Community Center ball field. Bruce?
Yeah, so I met with a few of the baseball people. June and Jessica also came out to that. So we had a discussion about the ball diamond at PCC not having protective netting in the outfield, and what would happen if a home run was hit into the grassy area or the play area. So it happened several times during a ball game and a soccer game at the same time. And it was brought up to the attention of the mayor So we met, and basically it can be done. It's going to be anywhere from $25,000 to $150,000, depending on what we get done and whereabouts it gets done. So I think there was an agreement that, for the safety of our, of anybody walking there, that it would be a good idea. And many ball diamonds have that. So I would like to make a proposal to the committee that we propose that the council look into budgeting a netting for that ball diamond.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm in agreement with you. I've been there, and those balls do fly over that fence often. I think in addition to the netting, possibly some signage for people sitting around the area to be aware of fly balls, while baseball games are going on, would also be another thing that I would like to add to that as well. If we don't get approval right away, at least some signage letting people know that, if they're going to sit in that area and watch a game, and then baseball games on, especially with some of these, teams that they have now that are good, strong baseball players, you definitely want to have our butts covered in case somebody, did get hit or hurt with a baseball. So, I think signage and that netting, I agree with Bruce. It's something that we should be looking into for safety, because the diamonds and the soccer fields are used quite a lot in the summer. So I don't know how everybody else feels, but that's how I feel.
I agree.
I agree too. I have a question though. What if before that netting, let's say until we get netting, what if somebody was hurt? What would happen? Who's covered for that? Is there any implications for the township if somebody were to get hurt like that on our property?
I could
On their
sue.
property? Could they?
Mike, are you able to answer that one?
With most organized sporting events, whether it be soccer, baseball, shinny hockey, usually there's an event organizer that will carry insurance for those types of reasons. They would be the first one called to claim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that the township would be mentioned, but that would be figured out in court.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
So Bruce, are you putting forward a motion that we should bring this to council for them to possibly look into?
Yes.
Okay, I can read out what I have. That staff include in their next report to council the possibility of budgeting for netting on the ball diamond at the PCC, as well as cautionary signage.
Okay.
That seems reasonable.
Sounds good.
Sorry, Claire, can you just read that? You're going to record that in the report, our next report to council?
That's right, yes.
And when would that be? 3 months from now?
I believe so, yep. We're looking to bring forward quarterly reports to council to capture everything from the rec committee meetings. So the first one, we've called it the annual report, since it will be the only one for 2020. It's going tomorrow afternoon to council. And so in our next quarterly report, I can include this motion.
Oh dear.
That'd be perfect.
Well,
Then hopefully we can get something started for the spring.
That'll be past the budget.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking that question, because we'll be approving our budget before our next meeting. So I'm not sure. I would not anticipate that this is necessarily something that's going to get included in next year's budget. But it may be something that can get added into at least the forecast, which is also something that we work on with the budget. And so if this is something that, you know, I know that both soccer and baseball is supportive of this initiative. And if the committee is also in support of it, then I'm not sure if it makes perhaps more sense to have this particular motion added as correspondence to council at a sooner meeting than our next quarterly report. I'm just putting that out there. It's up to the committee.
How soon could we get council to look into something like this?
I'm sorry, if I could make a suggestion. If we wanted to have a resolution forwarded to council, we could still have that included in the November 25th, possibly in that budget meeting for consideration. I'd have to probably talk with the treasurer to see if that fits with what she's looking at, but that would be the next meeting, or it could potentially be looked at in the December 2nd meeting. So we do have a couple opportunities there if you wanted to go that route.
I think something like this has been wanted for a while, and probably sooner than later, just to get it on the eyes of everybody. Wouldn't hurt, to be honest with you. It's always good to know, you know, quite ahead, you know, or what's going to be coming up. So in my opinion, I think we should always go sooner than later so we avoid any surprises.
Okay, I can, I'll just reword it slightly. That staff include in an upcoming council agenda the possibility of budgeting for netting on the ball diamond at the PCC, as well as cautionary signage.
Yeah, we're looking in for quotes anyways. Okay, that sounds good. Any more on that item number 2?
No, for me.
Okay, we'll move on to...
Sorry to be so formal, everyone. I'll just, obviously, Bruce is moving that motion. I'll just get a seconder and then a quick show of hands for everyone in favor.
Okay, Bruce is going to move it.
Need a second?
I can second it.
Oh,
Okay.
let June, yep.
Perfect.
Is everybody all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move to item 3 here, volunteer mural, June Williams. And I think if you scroll through your package, you'll see the examples.
Well, that's a little redundant now because I put that on the agenda before the minutes and the recommendation to council came out. So they're not going to do the mural now because they've resurrected the township plaque. So I think it was taken down when the renovations and painting were done. And so now it's back and the plates have been updated for the last couple of years. And it's going to go on the wall in the PCC. So the mural is a little redundant.
Okay, thank you.
I did
That's good
include
news.
I did include in the council report those examples you provided, June, just in case there was an appetite to do something a little bit different than the existing plaque.
Oh, so that hasn't actually gone to council yet.
No, it's
Okay.
going tomorrow.
I see.
But yes, for now, obviously that plaque exists. So we can get that hung back up. And then I didn't want to exclude the what's a pretty neat example. So I did include that
Okay.
as well.
All right. So we'll just wait. I won't send Janice McDonald. I won't talk to her yet until, I guess, an answer from council. So how would we know that?
I would bring that back to the committee if there was appetite from council to do something like that. I would bring that back to the committee and let you all know, and we would work forward.
Would that
June,
be-
you just want to know so that you can let her know,
Right,
right?
yeah,
Well, I'm happy to send you an email or even give you a quick call
okay.
sometime later this week after our council meeting, just to let you know one way or the
Yeah,
other.
I wouldn't want her sitting waiting another 3 months.
I see,
No
sorry, yep.
Okay,
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah June, for everything. We're just going to move to item 4 here. Verbal report by Claire Collinson regarding the 2021 committee dates. So we've just got to review and approve the 2021 rec committee meeting dates. You'll see February 16th, 2021, May 18th, 2021, August 17th, 2021, and final meeting November 16th, 2021. Is there any of those dates that we can't use?
it would be kind of nice if we moved the August one into September. Do we need to meet in the summer?
I agree. I can't confirm that I could make the August one, because if we're, depends on my family and where we all are, and if I have access to internet like I didn't last year, or this year, sorry.
Of course, if COVID is still
So I
on, we'll
agree
be
with
doing Zoom.
June.
Yeah, I think I agree. August, maybe doing it right after the fall fair is always a good time to kind of review everything.
Okay, let me just
Possibly.
take a quick look at September, just to make sure it doesn't conflict with any other council meetings. Just give me one moment. So we would be looking the third Tuesday in September instead. That would be the 21st. Okay, just give me one
I would be okay with that.
Me too.
That sounds good.
Mhm.
All right, if everybody's okay with those dates.
Sorry, guys, I'm just give me one moment. I'm just going to double check the full council calendar for September.
No problem.
Okay, I don't see anything scheduled for September 21st, so I'll make a revision. August 17th will become September 21st. Okay. Okay, so I'll just get a mover and a seconder for those new dates.
Okay, would who'd
I'll
like to?
move.
Dinah and seconder?
Yeah, I'll move.
Yeah, I can second.
Okay.
Thank you, June. All in favor?
In
Aye.
favor?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll move to number 10, other matters. Is there anything that anybody else would like to speak about tonight?
Before we
Nope.
move on, I'm so sorry. I'll just read out the resolution that we've accepted. So I pulled out the PCC screening, and then I'll just have everybody confirm that the other two committee reports be received for information. So that would
Okay.
be the Google reviews and survey, as well as the volunteer mural. So if I could just, sorry, confirm that we have received those for information.
I can move that.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jennifer.
Oh,
And Dinah.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Everybody's all in favor?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Other matters. Is there anything that anybody would like to discuss before we?
I would just like to propose or suggest that, and I forget the name of the fund, that when someone builds a house, certain monies go into the recreational fund. And I would like to know at each meeting how much money there is in the fund and how much money was spent in the previous 3 months. Jessica, you were telling me what fund it was called. I forget what it's called.
Cash, I think what you're referring to is cash in lieu of parkland,
Yeah.
which
Is
is
that
a,
something that could be shared to the committee? Because basically it is recreational money to be spent. Is that not correct?
correct. It is part of our budget. I believe, I'm not sure if it's in our next budget meeting. Our treasurer will be reporting on balances and all our reserves.
Okay.
I don't want to speak on behalf of the treasurer because that information would have to come from her.
I'm just requesting that maybe can it be shared with the committee at each meeting?
I can follow up with our treasurer, Bruce, and just ask her if it could be included kind of in the same way that we currently include the revenue and expense info. I can ask her if that could be provided at each committee meeting.
That would be great. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts on that, but
Well, I know I just finished doing a permit and I had to pay into it, so I know there's money in there.
well, I just built a house and I gave $10,000 to it, so I know there's some money in there.
Yeah. No, it'll be, thank you. That's a very good idea, Bruce. And I'm kind of with you. It's nice to know what is there and how it's going to be spent. And, you know, and I was hoping that maybe Mike could give us an update on two things tonight. The construction of the new soccer fields, for one. And I do remember we were talking about possibly the playground, the main playground being updated at the PCC, but I don't know if that's gotten put on hold due to COVID or if that was a project that was still, you know, on the go.
I can start with the back soccer field. It's currently with our engineering department. It was identified to hopefully be tendered in the month of December. An investigation of just a survey of basically construction companies that specialize in this type of work. Everyone is extremely busy and felt that we would not get competent bids. So we are refraining from tendering this project until the end of January, where basically these companies have time to reset, finish the jobs they're working on for 2020, and we'll hopefully get a more competitive bid and competency. So as far as the tendering goes, I will have an answer to that in the new year. As far as the playgrounds go, there is some identification of replacement through the Parks Master Plan phase 2. That is currently probably 2 years out. I know we are currently exploring other grants, both through federal and provincial funding, especially with stimulus funding that could be coming once COVID starts to recede. So hopefully we can be in line for some of that.
Sounds good.
Okay. Is there anything else before we move to adjourn the meeting?
Nope, not for me.
No, not for me.
Okay. Well, I'd like to make a motion then to adjourn the meeting. Anybody like to move to adjourn the meeting?
Yeah,
I'll
I
move.
will.
Or
Okay,
second.
Bruce?
A second.
Okay, so we'll close the meeting. So just don't forget our next meeting, February the 16th, 2021. And we'll likely see everybody at the Santa Claus Parade this weekend. If not, yeah, we'll look forward to seeing everybody in February.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you.
Next year.
Very good.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Nice to see you guys. Everyone stay well, stay safe and well.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Well,